So these are my new shelves, specifically for my dolls, and even more specifically for these guys. So what I want to do with these is make a sort of like little dorm room, sort of inspired by the Ophelia Hall dorm from the Wednesday show. I already made Wednesday a little desk and a little typewriter, as you can see here, and I recently picked up this Enid Sinclair doll, which I need to open. But before I open her, I want to get them some rooms ready. So my idea for this is that it's going to be sort of like a doll's house, but for Wednesday Enid. And here's my little helper. Yeah, you gonna help me? Good girl. So for my materials, the main things I'm going to be using, hello again, will be cardboard. I don't have a really long ruler, so it's mostly going to be tape measure. Well, tape. I think it's fabric tape. Yeah, measuring tape, that's the word I'm looking for. I also have some of this polystyrene board stuff from the shelves. They came with loads of cardboard and loads of this stuff, so I'm thinking this will be good to use for the flooring because it's already got a texture to it. Thank you, Poppy, for licking the camera. And I also picked this up from Amazon. So this is going to be like their window. It is supposed to be a mood light, and you press the little button in the middle and it lights up, and it can either be USB or battery powered, which is excellent because if it's on the shelf, I don't really want to be messing around with cables, so I can just press the button in the middle and the batteries will power it. So it has a few different light modes, but I'll probably just set for the simple one. So yeah, these are sort of the materials. I will probably also use paint, obviously, otherwise it's going to be... Stop licking me. Thanks, Poppy. Yeah. Good girl. I'll probably use paint so that I can paint these, and then it'll have like a wood effect to kind of look like their attic. So I've just unboxed this, and it is very solidly attached with these thingies. I don't really know how I get this. Oh, do I just twist them? Aha, maybe that worked. Aha, it did. There we go. So as we can see here, it's got the 3 battery ports, and it also comes with this stand. I may or may not use this, I don't know, but because it's going to go on the back wall, I might just sort of like prop it up, you know, or it's that way, isn't it? Yeah, I just prop it up like that. But that's really helpful, and it does also have a little hanging slot, so if you want to tie it on your wall, you could do. Maybe I'll do it like that, we'll see. We also have a little charging cable. Yeah, let's try this out and see what it looks like because I haven't got batteries right now. Okay, so I've got it plugged in, and I've also got this attached. My first thoughts is that if you've got the charging cable in, it's not quite straight. It's a little bit, it doesn't sit flat with where the charging cable goes in. But again, that's not going to be a big deal for me because I'm not going to be using this cable. So I will also say that the cable from there to there is very short. So you'd have to have it very close to a plug socket or a USB port to be able to use it. It didn't come with this port here, it just had the cable. So I already had this one and I plugged it in. It's a USB cable. So let's turn it on. Oh. Yo, that looks so cool. I really love that. That is very vibrant. I was a bit worried that this side would kind of look a bit faded, but it doesn't. This is really, really pretty. I don't know if the camera's going to even do it justice. Like, that is very vibrant, and it's going to look so cool with the doll's house. But now I'm worried that it's not going to pick up the rest of the doll's house once I've got the light sort of in the middle. Let's see. I think it's got other modes as well, so you can have just Wednesday's side lit up, just Enid's side lit up, or them both but a little less vibrant. Oh no, oh, it does like a fading thing. Okay, not sure I'm very keen on that. That would get a bit much for me. I'm not a big fan of like strobing lights, so I would probably just keep it like that when I use it. But all in all, this is a really beautiful light. So it's quite big as well. It's not a small one. I would give a guess, seeing as how these shelves from here to here are about 30 centimeters, I would give a guess that it is about 25 centimeters in diameter. I think that's the right word. It's not radius, is it? Because that's radius. I don't know. But about from here to here, I would say it's about 25 centimeters. So it's pretty big, and would make a nice wall light, or if you're making a doll's house, it'll look cool for that. So these are the maths that I've sort of come up with. So this is what the floor measurement is going to be, and these are what the wall measurements are going to be. I know they don't quite make sense, but they do in my head, so you'll just have to bear with me. But you get the idea. I'm going to be doing walls around 3 sides, and the floor, obviously, on the floor. I'm not going to bother with the ceiling. So this is how the first floor is going to look. I kind of like these angled sections. It's not going to be exactly like their dorm room, but I'm going to try my best, you know? So I quite like this, giving sort of that kind of angle. I tried to get the floor in there, but I don't know if I quite like it. I feel like it's a bit flimsy, and it might actually be a bit useless. Sorry to anyone who hates that noise, because it is a bit of a yucky noise. So what I'm going to do, because I'm having issues getting this in and out, I'm going to glue it in the correct shape on a like piece of cardboard. I'm going to lower the height a little bit so that when I put it on the cardboard, it should slot right in and stay put. That's the plan. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to be hot gluing along here, sort of along the skirting, but that's okay. It doesn't matter if it's a bit messy. I'm going to be neating that up with some like skirting boards later on, because you know, you can see like there, and maybe something along here as well, because it's a bit scuffed. But basically, once I've got this sort of glued in place, I can then pull it out and go and paint it, decorate it on my desk where I've got more room. Okay, so as you can see, I've glue gunned around the edges of here, which means that this can easily slot in and out. And because all of these shelves are the same, it means that this one, I've been sat down, so I've just been working on the middle shelf, but it means this should also slide into the top there, which is exactly where I want it to be. So yeah, so next I'm going to take this out, take it to my office and decorate the inside. So this is me working out how I'm going to do the flooring. I decided to print off these sheets of sort of wooden flooring, and I'm just cutting this corner shape to the shape of the floor. It's pretty self-explanatory really. This is me mixing up some glue, PVA. Took me quite a while to get that lid off. So after it's all mixed in, I start applying the glue. I tried not to get it too thick because I didn't want to make the sheets all like wrinkly, so I wanted really thin layers of glue, and if I needed more, I added it later on. was pretty simple to stick down. I just made sure that it was all nice and even, and like I said, I stuck down the extra bits afterwards. So here is the second piece that I'm going down, and instead of cutting it straight across and sort of cutting into the floorboards, I don't really know how to explain this other than it just looked good. After it was sort of dried and everything was stuck together, it kind of looked, because some of them were sticking up, it looked like some of the floorboards were actually sticking up in the room, so it worked. I think around this time I'm watching The Summer I Turned Pretty. I've just finished season 3 and I'm looking forward to season 4. Yeah, are you guys team Jeremiah or team Conrad? I don't think I'm team either, honestly. I think I like Jeremiah, but I think he deserves better than Belly. I think Belly, if you take away the boys, she doesn't really have much of a personality. But that's just my opinion. Let me know which team you guys are on in the comments. So it did take me a little bit of time to get this how I wanted it to look, but I think doing this technique really was worth it, because instead of looking like two pieces of paper, it actually blended together a lot better when it was glued down. I started gluing the wall panels on, and I did them vertically instead of horizontally, as you can see on the left hand side. So I fixed it, and these are the horizontal pieces going up. These are the skirting boards and sort of like wall panel things. So I'm using acrylic paint, different brands, but both acrylic, brown and black, to get a sort of dark, old-fashioned wood kind of look. So out comes the glue gun and the glue sticks. Be careful if you're using one of these yourself. I burnt my fingers many times, but that's okay, I'm kind of used to it doing art and crafty stuff. So here I am just gluing all the skating boards on. I don't know if they call them skating boards in America, but that's what we call them here in the UK. So here it is. I have fitted the sort of unit that I've made straight in. I have a little nail here which I pointed out earlier, but not very well. And I managed to find some batteries for this, so let's get it put on there and see how it looks. And there we have it. I think this looks really cool, so let's have a go. Oh, that looks so good, if I do say so myself. I'm very pleased with how that looks. I think the roof being white is a little distracting, but I think like from this angle you can't really notice it. So yeah, I think it looks cool. Let's move Wednesday in. There we are. Here she is in her little dorm, but I think we're missing somebody. So here is the Enid doll. I've taken her out of the box, and first of all I gave her a bit of a haircut because out of the box her hair was like down here. It was really long, and to me that's too long for Enid's hair. It's very gelled, so I might give it a wash at some point, but I do kind of like the texture that it has, so I might just leave it like that. She has this jumper on, which I think is similar to one she wears in the show. Long painted nails, which I think is a really fun little added thing. You don't usually see dolls with nails, although I do see some custom dolls that have had nails added on, but they put these in them. They put these on her. There we go. She did have some like leggings attached to these trousers, but they looked a little bit weird to me, so I've added some of Draculaura's, and I think they look a little bit better because they look a bit more lifelike, and to be honest cover up some of this gaudy yellow. Yeah, her little shoes have, I think that's a teddy bear and a unicorn on the backs. She also comes with a stand which has the window print on it with a little skull in the middle, and obviously she has her hat. She does have a backpack as well, but that is in the other room because yeah, it's just a backpack. So there she is. Let's add it to the room. Enid and Wednesday in their own little Ophelia haul. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you.